How do I identify valuable postcards to list on eBay? I'm going to show you exactly how I do it by going through 50 postcards that I pulled specifically to list on eBay and cherry picked because of how valuable I thought they were. So this is going to be a different type of video here. And like I said, I have 50 postcards that I pulled out from albums, collections, and lots that I bought online specifically because I thought they were valuable. So I'm going to go through every single one and tell you why I thought they were valuable, what to look for, and what I think it can sell for. So let's jump right in here. This is a cotton scene in Douglasville, Georgia. Baptist Church on the left and Douglasville College in the background. This is a smaller Georgia town, which is why I pulled this one to list. And I'll just show you the next one here at the same time since it goes along with it. This is the Douglas Courthouse in Douglasville, Georgia. And notice the size difference on these, but both of these were sent in 1907. So early on, postcards can have a variation in size like that, or before 1907 like these two do. And one really cool thing about this is the Doan cancel from Rock Springs, Alabama. So you can tell it's a Doan cancel because of the number right there. They either had, I think, 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'm not sure how high it went up, but whenever they have a number right there, that's how you can tell it is a Doan cancel. And this one is Rock Springs, Alabama. So I'll look up what window of time that Doan was used, and if it is a smaller window, that could add some value. But I think both of these great early Georgia postcards will go for a pretty good amount by themselves, which is why I pulled them to list. I would estimate that those would sell for at least $20, even though it does have some damage on that one right there, but very neat and uncommon cards, I believe, although I haven't looked them up yet. And this is the First National Bank in Nashville, Tennessee. I pulled this one because it is a larger town in Tennessee, and there were a lot of postcards produced of Nashville, but I cannot remember having seen this card before. I may have seen a color version of this postcard and of this bank, but I just pulled it because it's one I've never seen. It has a cool advertising right there of how much capital, how much surplus they have, and how much deposits they have on hand, which I noticed a lot of banks did back in the day. Maybe because people were more worried about the banks going under, but this was a rotograph cards in 1908. And I believe it's rotograph. It doesn't actually say rotograph, but it looks similar to the rotograph style. This is Court Cortez in Laredo, Texas. This is an RPPC, but it's not super early. This one was sent in 1941. Any Texas RPPC like this, I will usually pull to sell, even if it's probably a more common view, but Texas sells very well for me. And this one looks like a little hotel or motel in Laredo, Texas. And I can't remember selling or seeing too many Laredo, Texas real photo postcards. I'm hoping to get at least around $10 out of this, but we'll just have to see if there are any more listed and what they sell for. And this one I am pretty sure I can get for a great price because this is just an amazing postcard. So these are the Wright's Apartments and Rooms in Panama City Beach, Florida. And you just have the very close-up view of the older cars there, which is uncommon, that they are so close to the frame on the postcard and you can really see the details. And if you're a car person, I'm sure you can tell exactly what type of cars those are, but this card was produced around the 1940s to 50s, but just such an incredible view. You got the neon sign there on the right and the old cars. I think that one will go for fairly good money. I'm hoping for at least $20, but again, it could be a more common card, but I've never seen it before, which is why I pulled it. And this is an early, or not too early, about mid-century Florida RPPC. This one was set from Miami, Florida, so this is the Patrician Hotel, Collins Avenue, Miami Beach, Florida. I've sold a lot of Miami and Florida postcards, and I can't remember seeing this real photo postcard, which is why I pulled it to list. It was actually sent by a member of the military to another member of the military in 1945, so you have the free cancellation right there, but hopefully that one can go for decent money. These next two cards are also the same, so these are neat, and I won't lot these up because I never lot them up, even if they're the same theme or the same collector will buy them, because I believe you can get more for postcards individually, basically no matter what. So I never lot anything up. But these are both kind of the same. These are the Building Key West Extension Over the Sea Railroad, Knights Key Bridge, Florida. So these are both of Knights Key Bridge, Florida. And what's really neat about these is one postcard shows the construction of the bridge and the other shows it after it was completed, and you can see the train crossing it right there. But I don't think I've ever seen a postcard of Knights Key Bridge in Florida. These could be more common, but since I've never seen them and I've gone through tens of thousands of postcards, I thought that they could be worth a little bit more money. This is the Nansemond Hotel in Ocean View, Virginia. I believe there are a lot of postcards from Ocean View, Virginia out there. I don't have a ton of Virginia listed, so I'm not an expert, but I can't remember having seen this postcard before. And Ocean View, Virginia, I don't think is a super common town, or it's not, at least is not as common as Richmond and some of those bigger towns. But what's interesting about this one is it has all kinds of advertising information and information about the hotel and its features on the back. So you can do sea bathing, boating, and fishing. And just information about the rates and everything else that you can experience at the hotel there. This is the Lodge and Cabin Stony Point Resort in Walker, Minnesota. I have not had super amazing luck selling Minnesota real photo postcards. Some southern town or southern states and other towns out west sell for way more than Midwestern states like Minnesota, but I pulled this one nonetheless because I have not seen it before. And it's a real photo postcard, which is something I'm always going to pull to list. So this one was set in 1935 from Walker, Minnesota. And again, I don't know how much that one's worth, but I'm hoping to get at least $10 out of that one there if it's a more common view. And this one is in poor condition, but it's Dardanelle, Arkansas. Smaller southern towns such as this one, especially real photo postcards, can sell very well. So I imagine this one will fetch a pretty good price. And you have the pontoon bridge there and Mount Nebo or Weibo. I can't exactly see what that is. But a really neat view, even though it does have condition issues and the image is faded. It was produced around 1905 or 1906, since you've got the undivided back there. Despite the condition issues, I'm hoping to get around $50 or more out of this postcard. And again, I haven't researched any of these, so I don't have prices set in stone, just a rough estimate based on my experience. And these 4 postcards are all from the same town, so I'm going to go through these next 4 really quick. This is Herbert Street looking east, Cedartown, Georgia. Not a super impressive view. You've got a couple houses there, a church, but it is an Albert type postcard, so it's very high quality. You can see the Albert type right there on the back. And this one, College Street looking north in Cedartown, Georgia. Another not super crazy view, just a small street scene with not much going on, or small town street scene with not much going on. But again, that is an Albert type, very high quality, and a small Georgia town, so that's why I pulled that one to list. This is the Water and Light plant in the Springs in Cedartown, Georgia. So in my opinion, this one might go for a little bit more than those first 2 cards because there's just more going on here. And there's like a plant with some smoke coming out there. So you just got a little bit more going on. So that one might go for a little bit more. But this one from the small town might sell for I am pretty sure it will sell for the largest amount of money. It is the Confederate Monument and County Jail in Cedartown, Georgia. And I'll be honest, I do have a few moral qualms about selling Confederate monument postcards, but I came to the conclusion that I am glad to take people's money who want to collect these Confederate monuments and hope the South will rise again. I think I'm doing a good thing by transferring wealth from them to me. So that's how I came to terms with it in my mind, at least. But yeah, I don't condone any of these monuments, but the postcards do sell for pretty good money, and I have no problem taking their money. So this is a Confederate monument in County Jail in Cedartown, Georgia, and I think that one will sell for pretty good money. I don't know exactly how uncommon or how common this view is, but I have gone through a lot of Georgia postcards, and I have never seen this postcard. And Cedartown postcards, I have seen a few from around the 1930s or 40s, but not many as early as that. So I'm hoping that set of 4 will all go for pretty good money. This is Mercado Ozama, Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. So this one is a really cool marketplace in the Dominican Republic. And you have like the railroad bridge crossing there, people buying their fruits and vegetables or whatever else for the week on the ground. And then that stamp up there I thought was really neat with the cancellation on the front. And I cannot remember seeing many Dominican Republic postcards at all, which is why I pulled this one to list. And it's just a really neat scene with people buying all their groceries for the week or whatever, and then the railroad bridge crossing. So hopefully that one will go for a decent bit of money. This is the Grand Plaza Shopping Center in Nogales, Arizona. This is a chrome postcard of a shopping center. This one was set in 1957. There's not a ton going on in the scene here, but an early shopping center chrome like this one, I've had pretty good luck selling those. And I can't remember seeing this postcard, which is why I pulled it to sell. I'm hoping to get around 10 or 15 out of this one, but if it's more common, I might have to list it for less. Or if it's less common, I might list it for more. This is the Paugus Lodge Cabins in Lakeport, New Hampshire. I've actually not had very good luck selling New Hampshire postcards. In Vermont, I just don't think, and Maine for that matter, for those very far northeastern states, I just don't think there's a huge number of collectors that are willing to pay good money for postcards. So unfortunately, I don't normally have good luck, but I pulled this one because it is a smaller town that I've never heard of, Lakeport, New Hampshire. But what's really neat is the gas pumps there on the right of the postcard, and it looks like a service station with the cabins there. So that's why I pulled this one. This one was set in 1934, so right in the midst of the Great Depression. This is the Ladies Clubhouse in Merchantville, New Jersey. I have had very good luck selling smaller New Jersey towns, but for Merchantville specifically, I just sold one from there the other day for about $16 or $17. That was a pretty uncommon card, so I imagine I will only be able to get the same for this one. And Ladies Clubhouse, I'm not sure what they did there. Maybe it's like a YWCA or where older ladies went to hang out, but I thought that one was pretty neat and something you don't see too often on a postcard. This is the Indian Church at Jemez or Jemez, New Mexico. And I picked this one. It looks like it is Detroit because of the colorful pastel colors in the background there and that writing down there. But it is actually published by Fred Harvey, so you've got that right there. I believe they worked with Detroit to publish these cards, and you can see the Fred Harvey there in the back corner as well. So that's why I pulled this one. Fred Harvey postcard of a smaller New Mexico town that I haven't heard of. It could be a more common Fred Harvey view. They did publish so many postcards, and they usually published a large number of postcards, especially these with a white border. But I'm hoping to get around 10 to 15 for this if I can, a little less if it's a more common view. This is the Irrigation Canal, Imperial Valley, El Centro, California. This is an Albert-type postcard, I would guess around 1920 with a border. But I can't remember having seen or sold too many El Centro, California postcards, which is why I pulled this one. Even though it's a pretty mundane view there of the irrigation canal, this will just be an experiment to see how well El Centro, California postcards sell, and I really have no idea. This could be a $5 postcard, could be a $20 postcard, could be a $40 postcard. I would be very surprised if it was more than that. This is a very, very neat one because it looks like a generic greetings. It says greetings from El Verano, California on there. So I thought, oh, this is just another generic scene. But once I noticed it had this on there, the name of the river, the Nishamini, I'm sure I'm butchering that. But this river in El Verano, California, I thought was really neat. And it was published by the Auburn Publishing Company around probably the 1920s or so. So this is Park Avenue, an office building, another smaller California town, Mare Island, California, or at least a California town that I haven't really sold too many postcards of. This one is actually postmarked in 1913, which is interesting since it has the white border around the edge there. But yeah, this one, Mare Island, I have not seen this postcard before, and I can't remember selling too many Mare Island postcards at all. So hopefully this one sells for pretty good money. This is actually a larger California town looking north on Raymond Avenue from Colorado Street, Pasadena, California. There are so many Pasadena, California postcards out there, and I list quite a few Pasadena postcards, but I listed this one, or I picked out this one to list because you've got a bank there on the right, and you've got a sign there that says, or that's an advertisement for a typewriter company, and you've got all the old cars. So I just thought this was a really neat postcard, which is why I set it aside to list. And I can't remember having seen this specific view of Pasadena, California before. So hopefully that's a more uncommon car that sells for a little bit more than average. And this is the Congregational Church in Ocheyedan, Iowa. I'm sure I'm butchering that town pronunciation again. I actually haven't had good luck selling smaller Iowa early postcards, but hopefully this postcard turns my luck around. This is the Congregational Church in Iowa, a smaller Iowa town. I've never heard of the town. Definitely never seen this postcard, so hopefully it's worth a little bit of money. This next postcard is Rock Mill Creek in Lancaster, Ohio, and this is a smaller Ohio town. A more generic view like this I maybe wouldn't pull to list, but because it has the hand-drawn like facing the moon up there, I thought it was really neat. And then the cross of where they spent the day on the back, they wrote April 21st, 1908 next to a cross, so that's the day that they went there. And they actually sent it later the same afternoon, so I thought this one was really neat. That's why I set that one aside to list. It is a smaller Ohio town, and actually I just noticed here, this publisher that uses this postcard style font, I've noticed publishes a lot of smaller towns, and they are printed in Germany. I think it's the William Blutziger Art Company, Lancaster, Ohio. But yeah, whenever you see that specific font style of postcard, I've had good luck selling those, and they're usually high quality postcards of smaller towns. This next postcard is South on Mill Creek, Laughlin, Cincinnati, Ohio. Of course, Cincinnati is a very large town in Ohio, but I can't remember having seen any postcards of Mill Creek, or for that matter, the neighborhood of Laughlin and Cincinnati, even though this is a more generic view here of just a creek, but you do have that cool little barn or house or cabin there on the right. So hopefully that one sells for a little bit more than average. This is also another one from Cincinnati, so a larger town, but a more uncommon view, I think, because I haven't seen this one before. This is the Bethesda Maternity Hospital in Cincinnati, Ohio, and it does have the white border there, but the back makes me think it is a little bit earlier, so maybe 1910 to 1915 or so. And again, I haven't seen this one, so it could be a more common car. It's only for around $5 or a little bit more. This is Lookout Mountain Drive, Laurel Canyon, Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. Obviously, Hollywood and Los Angeles are very large towns in California, but I can't remember having seen this specific postcard before, and it looks like the back is very interesting because it looks like the same font style that the Albert Type company uses, but this is not an Albert Type card. I would guess around 1915, 1920 or so. But there is no postmark date that I could read, but hopefully that one sells for a little bit more. This is the Residence Street in San Benito, Texas. This is a very cool postcard. I would guess it was produced around the 1920s since it has the white border and the style on the back, but smaller Texas towns like this, like San Benito, I cannot remember ever having listed a postcard from San Benito, Texas. So an early postcard like this is a no-brainer to pull and list, and I hope I can get $20 to $40 for this one, but we'll just have to see what's out there. And that's what the back looks like. It does have a little bit of damage in the corner there, which will take away a little bit, but not too much. This is a really neat chrome postcard of the London Lodge Motel and Restaurant in New Orleans, Louisiana. And again, very large town in Louisiana, probably the largest town in Louisiana. I'm probably a dummy for not knowing if it is the largest town in Louisiana, but this is a really neat motel, roadside chrome postcard with the old cars there. Again, another view that you don't see too much is the close-up view of the cars where you can actually see like what make and model they were. And if I was more of a car person, I would be able to tell you, but very neat chrome. Looks like it was set around 1950 something. It's definitely 1950s, but really neat chrome postcard from New Orleans. And I'm hoping, I have not seen that view before and it's such a neat one. I'm hoping at least $10 on that one. This is the Bungalow Court in Amarillo, Texas. Another cool early chrome postcard roadside motel there. You've got the old cars again and the neon sign there, although it's not night and lit up, which would be cool if it was. So around the 1950s, Amarillo, Texas is a medium-sized Texas town, I believe. I've sold definitely a few postcards from there. It's not in super high demand, so thinking maybe $10 to $20 on this one if it is a more uncommon postcard, less if it's not, obviously. This is Lake Tahoe from Tavern Hill, California, and I cannot remember if Tavern Hill is a town or a location in California, but I don't think I've listed any postcards from Tavern Hill, California before, so it will be fun to list this one and see what it goes for. This one was postmarked and sent in 1910 from Stockton, California, so it's probably around that area. But even though it's a more generic view of just some mountains and a lake, I can't remember listing or seeing town or postcards from that location in California. These next two are from the same town, so I'll show them together. These are lake views. This is Phantom Lake near Mineral Wells, Texas. And this is, actually, these look nearly identical. This is Phantom Lake on my right, maybe your left. And this is Eagle Creek near Mineral Wells, Texas. So I'll give you some insider information about this Eagle Creek one. I have a buyer that buys from me that I'm sure probably buys from other people that sell postcards too, but he collects eagles, and almost any postcard that has the word eagle on it or in it, he will want to buy. And he'll spend pretty good money on them too. So anytime I see eagle on a postcard, I will pull it to list. But this one is of a smaller Texas town, so I think it will sell for good money regardless. These are both Mineral Wells, Texas, and I've had very good luck selling postcards from Mineral Wells, Texas. This is the Salinas Public Library in Salinas, California. Not a super early postcard, probably around 1920. It is an Albert type postcard, as you can see there on the back. So I know it is high quality. And again, Salinas, I think, is one of those medium-sized towns that there weren't a ton of postcards produced for early on. So I'm hoping that one can sell for pretty decent money, maybe $10 to $20 again. And this is another very neat chrome postcard, the Bailey Motor Inn, and this one is in Olympia, Washington. I don't see too many chrome postcards of motels from towns in Washington from this early, so this is a neat view around the 1950s. Again, very colorful. You have the old cars there and the same style as some of the other chrome postcards on the back there. I really have no idea what this one could sell for. This could be a more common one around $5 or less, or it could be worth significantly more. Washington towns in general tend to sell for pretty good money for me, even if it is a newer card. And this one is just so neat. This is the Otsego Ski Club, Hidden Valley, Gaylord, Michigan. Skiing is not something that I see too often on postcards, especially real photo postcards. This one is around the 1950s, so it is a little bit later. And the previous dealer actually wrote 50 cents on here, so I'm very confident I'm going to be able to get more than 50 cents. So we'll have to see what this one is listed, or if there's more listed of this one though. So this could be a $5 or $6 card. It could be a $40 and upward card depending on how uncommon it is. But very cool interest there with the skiing and everything going on. I don't see that too often. And this next one is also a real photo postcard of a town in Michigan. This is Stony Point, North Pond Point. I'm not sure exactly what that is in Michigan, but you've got the really cool stone bridge going over a creek. I can't really see any water there, but a really cool bridge there. And this one, based on the back and the arrows or the triangles pointing up, this one is around 1910. The dealer was originally trying to get $1 for this one, but I'm pretty sure I can get a little bit more than that at least. But yeah, nice early Michigan view. I don't think this one will go for crazy money, maybe $15 to $20 or so. This is the east entrance to Tunnel, Tafteville, Connecticut. And even though this one is written on the front, that definitely does take away some value because it's written over the scene, and collectors would prefer one that is not written on the front at all, of course. This one was sent in 1907, but I picked this one out still, even with those condition issues, because it has the really cool view of the railroad tracks and Tafteville, Connecticut. I don't think I've listed too many postcards from there. So a really neat early Connecticut view postcard, and this is an early one as well. You've got the undivided back. The original dealer is looking for 75 cents for that one. This is the Crosset Shoe Factory, North Abington. I hope that's how you pronounce it. This is the Crosset Shoe Factory, North Abington, Massachusetts. And any type of factories, mills, stuff like this usually sells pretty well. So I picked this one out to list. And I don't see shoe factories on postcards all too often. And I don't really remember listing too many postcards from that town in Massachusetts. Massachusetts, obviously with the way I pronounce both the town name and the state name. But hopefully that one sells for pretty decent money. This is Comanche Spring, bubbling 35 million gallons of water daily, Fort Stockton, Texas. This is a really neat real photo postcard, and it is very early. I would say probably around the 1910s or so. In early Texas RPPCs, and was always sell for pretty good money. And this one, I can't remember selling a Fort Stockton, Texas, or any real photo postcard from there. This is what the back looks like. And again, original dealer wanted 75 cents on that one, which is just a bargain. This next postcard is a really neat early Tennessee view. This is Balsam Point and Bullhead from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Great Smoky Mountains National Park, Tennessee, North Carolina. There are a ton of Gatlinburg, Tennessee postcards out there because it's a very popular tourist town, but it didn't become that until later on. So that's why I pulled this one. It was sent in 1934 from Knoxville. And you can see the town of Gatlinburg does not look anything like that today. So this is before it really developed into the tourist trap that it is now. I'm thinking this one might go for pretty good money since the town has changed so much. And I can't remember seeing this card. It could be a more common one, but we'll just have to see on that one. This is and I'll show these next two together because they go together. So this is Tilden Mine Shaft number 10, Bessemer, Michigan, and Hauling Logs in Bessemer, Michigan. So two pretty neat views, and they're actually published by the same publisher, it looks like, because the backs look pretty similar. One's red font, one's black font, but two really cool views from Michigan. You got the man on the horses hauling logs, and then you've got the mine shaft there. So I guess in Bessemer, Michigan, they mine for stuff, and they cut down a lot of trees, so pretty neat. This is Roman Catholic Church, Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey. I pull early New Jersey beach towns, especially smaller towns like this, whenever I find them postcards. This one is at super early, around 1943, it says on the back, but I cannot remember finding many postcards from that town at all. So that's why I pulled this one, and hopefully we'll list that one for pretty decent money. Thinking maybe $15 to $20, maybe a little bit more if the town demands much more money. This one I really have no idea what it will sell for. This is the Emmy Church, Formosa, Kansas, and I just can't remember seeing any Formosa, Kansas postcards. This one was sent in 1914, so it is very early. Just those very small towns that I have never heard of. I have found that those towns in the Midwest or Central or wherever Kansas is tend to sell for not it's extraordinary amounts of money, something in maybe $20 or so on this one, but we'll just have to see what that town goes for and if there are any other listed. This is the Frontier Lodge, Seguin, Texas. Very cool roadside linen postcard from what I'm assuming is a smaller town in Texas. It says, when in Seguin, Texas, it costs no more to stay at the best. Frontier Lodge at Highway 90 to 98 Junction. And the phone number is just 1506, so you didn't even need the 3 digits before that. Just pick up and put in 1506. Really cool linen card. Probably a little bit later than the 40s, maybe around 1950 or so. And this next one here is the Mammoth Cave Railroad, Glasgow Junction, Kentucky. This is a very, very cool postcard. So there were a ton of postcards produced of Mammoth Cave, Kentucky, and most of them are just views of inside the cave, which doesn't really change. Probably been the same for thousands of years, but this one does change. This is the Hercules Railroad car going into the Mammoth Cave, I'm assuming, near Glasgow Junction, Kentucky. So because of this amazing, or what this postcard has on it, that's why I pulled it to list. I think it's just an amazing train scene there in Glasgow Junction. I think I sold a few postcards from there, but obviously it is a smaller town in Kentucky. So I'm hoping to get, on the higher end, maybe $35 to $40 for this card. We'll just have to see how many others are out there. Could be more common. This is another very cool railroad themed postcard. This is looking east from Allegheny Station, Virginia, or Allegheny Station, Virginia. If that's a town in Virginia, I have not heard of that. So hopefully that will sell for pretty good money. I have had very good luck selling smaller Virginia towns. Looks like this one was, someone wrote 1910 on the front there. So it is very early postcard. Not the most attractive, scene since it is in black and white and not color. But again, I've had very good luck selling these small Virginia towns. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have trouble deciding which postcards to buy at postcard shows, or when you buy lots, if you're going through them and you really have no idea what will sell well, I've developed my eye for valuable postcards over several years of selling them. So if you're new starting out, you might want to experiment on your own and just list every single thing and look up every single thing. It takes time and energy and effort to develop a very good eye for selling postcards and a very good eye for what has value. And if you don't have that now, just don't worry. Just keep doing it and you will get better at it, and you will be able to see, just like I do, what has value and what you should list first. I will list these 50 postcards today, so I will probably put in, at least in the description, how much these 50 postcards were listed for, just to give you an idea. And again, I don't know everything. I just picked ones here that I mostly have not seen before and that I thought could be more uncommon. I'm sure some of these postcards will be duds, so to speak, and might be selling for $5 to $10, and some of these will be selling for $20, $40, and hopefully even more than that. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you got something out of it.